In the wild, animals leave scent marks to claim territory, invisible traces that tell others, I was here. That's nature's version of emotional imprinting. And humans do it too. But instead of scent, guess what we leave? We leave feelings. Every powerful emotional experience you create in a woman's presence marks her memory the exact same way. It tells her subconscious, he was here. And here's the crazy part. Once you've imprinted her emotionally, even if you disappear, your presence will not. You live rent-free in her mind because her nervous system will remember you. So, if you've ever wondered why some men fade from her memory instantly while others live in her head for years, well, then this video is going to be a real eye-opener for you. Because today, I'm going to break down the hidden psychology of emotional imprinting, right? How it works, why it's so powerful, and how to use it to create real, lasting connection when it comes to women. You're welcome. I'll be right back. Jessica OS here, welcome to the channel. So here's what we're going to cover. I'll break down what emotional imprinting actually is, why it's the real engine of attraction, how to create it in the right way, mistakes that kill emotional imprinting, as well as signs that show that you've successfully imprinted. You ready? Let's jump in. So what really is emotional imprinting? So emotional imprinting is when you create a lasting emotional mark in a woman's mind. It's when her nervous system starts to associate you with powerful emotions. Emotions like pleasure, excitement, calm, curiosity, even frustration. The point is to create real experiences that awaken her emotionally. The female brain is wired very interestingly. While men store attraction logically, she's beautiful, she's kind, she's loyal, women store attraction emotionally. Her memory system is linked to her feelings. And that's why she might not remember the words you said, but she'll remember the tone of your voice, the way you looked at her, and how she felt when you said those words, or perhaps even when you walked away. Here's the thing. Most men think attraction is a checklist. Nice guy, stable job, good communication, done, right? But those things don't move a woman emotionally. They make her respect you, but not desire you. Real desire happens when you stir something in her that she can't quite explain. It's when her logical brain tries to move on, but her emotional brain keeps pulling her back. That's emotional imprinting. It's the invisible string that makes her think about you when she's alone, or compare every other guy to you. Let's put it this way. When you meet a woman who says, I don't know why, but there's just something about you, what she actually is describing is emotional imprinting. Something about your presence, your energy, your voice, your unpredictability triggers emotions, right? The emotion is what sticks. When you understand this, you realize that attraction has nothing to do with being the perfect guy. It is being the guy she can feel. Think about it. If every interaction she has with you feels alive, unpredictable, stimulating, emotionally charged, her brain starts linking you to that feeling of aliveness, right? Even when you're not there, her body will remember it. That's the imprint. You can create positive imprints, connection, comfort, arousal, or negative ones like stress, confusion, insecurity. And whichever one you create, her subconscious will chase more of it. That's why, for instance, toxic relationships are so addictive, because strong emotion, even when painful, anchors deeply. Why emotional imprinting matters in relationships. So a lot of men believe that once a woman says yes to dating, the hard part is over. They stop leading emotionally, they stop making her feel, and things like that. But emotional connection isn't something you build once and never have to work on. It's something you have to continually feed, or she'll start to disconnect. A woman's heart doesn't stay where she's treated best. It stays where she feels the most, you see. That feeling might be love, excitement, safety, curiosity, even passion. But if she doesn't feel anything, then her eyes will wander and she will drift. And that's why you can be a good man, loyal, consistent, respectful, a provider, and still lose her. Because even though she appreciates you, she doesn't feel you anymore. Remember, women don't crave logic. We crave emotional experience, right? We fall for how you can make us feel about ourselves when we're with you. If she feels more beautiful, more alive, more understood around you, that's the emotional imprint that keeps her attached. Every time you show up, you have a choice. Do I make her think or do I make her feel? If you can emotionally move her, she'll remember you long after she forgets what you did. So when she says, there's something about you, what she's really saying is, you've imprinted me. That's how deep connection begins. The stages of emotional imprinting. So the good news is emotional imprinting follows a predictable pattern, right? And once you know these stages, you can literally see when a woman is starting to get emotionally attached to you. There are three main stages: curiosity, emotional resonance, and anchoring. Each of these stages builds on the last, and if you move through them with awareness, you'll create that bond that's almost impossible for her to forget. Let me run you through them. Stage 1, curiosity. It's self-explanatory. This is where basically it all begins. When she senses that something about you is different. Not your looks, not your money, your energy. Most men come across as either too predictable or too performative, right? They're either trying too hard to impress or they're too emotionally flat to be interesting. Curiosity is powerful because it activates her imagination. And once her mind starts imagining, she starts emotionally investing. Maybe it's the way you hold eye contact just for a second longer than usual. Maybe it's how you don't rush to fill silences. Or maybe it's how you smile like you know something she doesn't. These little behaviors create intrigue. And intrigue leads to emotional tension, which her brain interprets as attraction. Curiosity plants the first seed of emotional attachment. Remember that. Stage 2 is emotional resonance. Now the connection starts to deepen. This is where she begins to feel emotionally seen. Now, most men kill this stage because they don't know how to listen, right? They either dismiss her emotions like, oh, you're overreacting, or try to fix them. Well, here's what you should do. But when you can tune in, like really understand the emotion behind what she's saying, you become her safe space very quickly. When you say things like, oh, that sounds tough. What made you feel that way? Or, I get why that would bother you. You're not agreeing, you're validating. And validation tells her, this man gets me. And once that happens, her walls will come down. She'll start opening up, sharing more, and feeling emotionally comfortable. And here's what separates emotionally intelligent men from everyone else. You don't just match her emotions, you lead them. You bring calm when she's anxious. You bring lightness when she's heavy. You bring depth when she's surface level. That's emotional leadership. And women are wired to bond with men who can lead emotionally. Stage 3, anchoring. So this is the stage where everything locks in. Anchoring happens when the emotions she feels around you become linked to you. Think about it like this. When she laughs uncontrollably during one of your playful moments, her brain associates that joy with you. When she feels calm and at peace in your presence, her body stores that safety with you. When she feels turned on after a deep emotionally charged conversation, that desire will get anchored to you. And the magic is, her brain doesn't separate those emotions from the source. So even when you're not there, guess what? She replays those feelings through her head. That's why sometimes she'll randomly think of you in the middle of the day, or she'll hear a song and suddenly miss you. That's the emotional anchor. It's already in place. And once that anchor is set, logic can't undo it. I mean, she might tell herself, I need to move on, right? But her body just won't agree. Because emotional imprinting happens below conscious awareness. It's a felt memory. How to create emotional imprints ethically. Now, because emotional imprinting doesn't mean manipulating her emotions or playing psychological games, I need to teach you how to actually create it. This requires knowing how to connect deeply, confidently, and authentically in a way that makes her feel something she doesn't feel with another man. Let me break down the 5 core principles that allow you to create emotional imprints the right way. First one is to be fully present. Presence is your most underrated superpower. When you're with her, be with her. Not half on your phone, half distracted, not half thinking about something else, right? Because women feel when you're not present. Women generally tell when your energy is scattered, when your attention is split, when your focus is performative. But when you're grounded, when your eye contact holds steady, your voice slows down, your breathing deepens, she'll relax. Why? Because presence doesn't impress her, it anchors her. Number 2, tell stories that reveal emotion. Now, a lot of men will tell stories to impress, right? Talking about their achievements, money, status, things that appeal to logic. But emotionally intelligent men learn to tell stories to connect. They share moments that reveal vulnerability, growth, or passion, things that reveal their humanity. I'll give you an example. Instead of saying, I used to work hard to get where I am, you might say, there was a time I almost quit because I didn't think I had what it takes. But I learned that staying grounded through chaos is what separates winners from the rest. Now, that story does more than communicate your values. When you open up without oversharing or trauma dumping, you give her something real to connect with. Number 3, use tension and release. Human connection thrives on contrast. When you build tension, you spark emotional energy. When you release it, you create relief. Together, these two emotions do what? They form something called addiction. So how do you use this? You tease playfully, then compliment sincerely. You challenge her opinion, then soften with understanding. You flirt with boldness, and then back off with calm confidence. That back and forth emotional rhythm mimics how attraction feels inside her body. It's dynamic, unpredictable, and unforgettable. Remember, predictability kills emotion. Emotional variety, however, will keep her hooked because the brain craves contrast. Okay? Number 4, mirror her emotional energy and then lead it. What I'm about to teach you is emotional intelligence in motion. When she's excited, match her energy. Not to imitate, but to synchronize, right? When she's vulnerable, you slow your tone, match her softness, create safety. Then once she feels understood, lead the energy upwards, okay? You elevate her mood, shift the tone, make her feel lighter. This simple act, matching and then leading, makes her associate you with emotional regulation. You become her emotional anchor point. And every time she's upset, her subconscious will remember, well, when I was with him, I felt better. That's emotional imprinting at work. Number 5, offer emotional variety. Now, if you want her to never forget you, give her emotional diversity. Most men operate in one gear. They either are always serious, always funny, or always laid back. But the man who can switch gears, who can make her laugh, challenge her beliefs, calm her nerves, spark her curiosity, becomes a full spectrum experience. And women don't get addicted to one emotion. They get addicted to the man who makes them feel many different things along life's journey. So be playful, but also be thoughtful. Be passionate, but also grounded. Be unpredictable, but also consistent, because every emotional shade adds a new brushstroke to the picture that she paints of you in her mind. Now, the key word I used in the beginning of this particular pointer was ethically, right? You're not trying to make her dependent on you. You're helping her feel alive in your presence. When you do this authentically, she bonds with your essence and not your effort. Now, I didn't want this video to be too long, right? But there's so much more I want you to take from this. So guess what I did? I created a free downloadable emotional imprinting guide that will break down the biggest mistakes men make that kill emotional imprinting and the exact signs that show that you've successfully imprinted a woman, right? Now, the PDF is short, it's powerful, and designed to help you spot exactly where you're losing emotional impact and how to fix it fast. It's free, and you can grab your copy right now by using the link in the description below. This will help you immensely. Here's what I want you to take away from everything I've talked about in this video. If you can make a woman feel deeply, you'll always stand out from men who only make her think briefly, right? You can have the looks, you can have the money, you can even have the perfect words to say. But none of that matters if she doesn't feel you, right? And that's why you'll never need to chase a woman once you understand this, because she'll be chasing the feeling that only you can give her. Now, if this video gave you that wake-up call that you didn't know that you needed, do me 2 favors. First, hit that like button so YouTube knows that you're one of the few men who actually get it. And second, drop the word imprinted in the comments so I know that you're serious about mastering this level of attraction. Don't forget to download that free PDF. My name is Jessica OS. I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.